Okay, great morning. I've been asked to do a reading on forgiveness, how to have forgiveness. And, this is not an easy subject, but I'm going to give you, I've thrown the cards and I'll give you what's come out of it. But I could say, in my own life, I've seen that when you're holding anger, no matter how self-righteous it may seem, you've been hurt in the past, you've had whatever it is that's been done to you, and you feel like you have a right to be angry with it. It's really not hurting the other person, it's hurting yourself. What I found is you're victimizing yourself, and you stay locked in this stuff until you can give forgiveness. And you get, you have to have compassion, because you find out that when you look at the subject usually deeper, the reason these people are perpetrating the things they are is because they have some lack within themselves, something they have not handled in their life. And so they are in a hell realm to be able to perpetrate the things they do on others. So if you can see that, and that you are keeping yourself bound with your own judgmental and holding on to that, you're victimizing yourself. Okay? Yes, events happen, but don't forget, everything in the world is transient, and all of these are doorways for us to process things and to learn from them and to go forward. So let's see what the reading has. So going into it, these are the angel cards. We have the card of freedom, 4 of Wands, and with that we have strength. Okay, so we come in, and these actions are there to help us to gain strength. Now, either your actions are going to be grounded, balanced, or upended. If it's the opposite of that, it's upended. So what are you strengthening? Are you strengthening ungroundedness, or are you strengthening balance, okay, within yourself? Because what we have next is the devil, and it's called the angel of freedom. Okay, so why would they call the devil the angel of freedom? Well, these are the offerings that come, okay? All of these things, temptations and things that are being put out there, and we chain ourselves up with this emotionally. This is the cups, the cards of emotion. It could be mentally, emotionally. We chain ourselves up. As long as we hold to these negativity things, then we are in fact chaining ourselves up, and we have the ability to take off those chains, okay? Because don't forget, greater is he that's within you than he that's within the world. So your reliance has to be on God, on the higher things, that in the end there's going to come a balance. There's going to come, because don't forget, life is eternal. Now, we can see what's going on in the world. So many people are losing their lives and all of this, and it really affects emotionally that these things are happening. But don't forget, once they are released from the physical form, they are still eternal spirits. So let's continue to go forward. Next, we have 3 of Pentacles. What are your actions in the world? It's about your actions in the world and what you're holding on to. So what is it you're holding? Are you holding again to the right actions in the world? or are you holding on to the negative things? Okay? If you're holding to the negative, what do you think it's doing to you? It's going to sap your strength. It's going to put you in depression. It's going to take away from you because you are in that time maybe not having the faith in God or the universe, that things are working out and there is something happening, that good will triumph over evil. Okay? So what is it you're holding on to? Are you holding on to faith that things and knowing life is eternal and all of these things that are happening here are transient? Okay? So what is it you're holding to? Coming forward, we have Page of Pentacles, which is luck of the draw, that all of us coming in here are going to face battles. It's not going to be easy. And it's saying, you know, your actions, you're going to face battles in there, and you have to hang on through it. It's difficult, but you can make it. You can make it. So, you know, look at where you're feeling embattled. What is it it's trying to show you? And the last two cards are, of course, justice, integrity, and again, looking at, again, the resurrection, the judgment. But everything is judged in righteousness, okay? Everything is judged in righteousness, and there is judgment, there is karma, there is, you know, these are all things that we will learn from on one way or another, okay? Don't forget, this is the school. This is where we come to face all of these things, to learn from them, to have soul growth, to move forward. So if you are holding to the negative, then you are victimizing yourself, okay? Now, none of this is easy, going through these difficult times, especially with what's going on in Ukraine, and the Ukrainians are having some really tough things to get through. And you're losing, you know, losing family members. You go through all of these things, and one can lose sight of the fact of the eternality of beingness, okay? So don't lose sight of the eternal nature. Yes, these things are transient. And if you're trying to hold things and you don't want things to be transient, then what is said, Buddha says, that is, you know, suffering. That creates suffering when you want things to never change, but they are in constant flux, okay? But again, we have the freedom to remove the chains of bondage, okay? Don't get caught in these emotions, the false things being presented. Know that things are eternal, and you've got to forgive, and you've got to understand that where these people are coming from, they are in a hell realm, or else they could not do the things they're doing. They're in some sort of delusion, some sort of, and if you develop some compassion for that, it doesn't mean that what they're doing is right. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you justify it. It doesn't mean any of that. It's understanding where it's coming from. Now, we don't always see exactly why it's happening. But again, we have free will here, and that's part of our journey. You know, when they get to the other side, those that are perpetrating those things, they have to deal with their actions. And they will see their actions, and they will feel the hurt that they have put onto others. Okay? So they are going to have to, either they'll learn from that, or they will be resistant and have to come back in and face even greater, more difficult challenges. So all of this is about us progressing and having the freedom to make choices, to have free will. But remember that at the center point of everything, that all of these experiences, at the center of it is that thread, and that thread is the divine God essence, which is eternal, unchanging, always wanting the best, okay? And that is why karma is in place, because of that perfection. And it will continue to try to draw back those negative elements, okay, by its very nature. So how to forgive? You got to look deeper and again see that they are in fallacy, ignorance, being driven by lack, by lack in their own lives. Okay, they are suffering in their own lives, and they are, unconsciously making other people suffer or try to drag them down to their level into their suffering. Okay, so let go of it. The best thing you can do is to let go of it so you can progress in your own life, so you can be fulfilled in your own life, okay? There's no reason to continue to hang on to those things and to continue, because you will, at that point, have the devil on your tail, so to speak, and putting chains on yourself that do not need to be there, okay? So I hope this has helped to explain it a little bit, but like I said, in my own journey, I went through a lot of really difficult things, traumas and that type of stuff. And that's what I found from my own journey, that once I developed compassion and knew that they were in a hell realm to be able to perpetrate that on others, and I had a chance to get out of it, but they were still caught in that hell realm of suffering, that by putting that on myself, I was victimizing myself at that point, okay? And you don't need to continue to be victimized by these things. Know that, again, God is greater than the shadow. And things are eventually going to right themselves. And we are going through this turmoil now of this really upheaval of things, for it to be point blank in ourselves, in our faces, to see and to be able to question it on a deep, deep level, so that we can progress as humanity. Okay? So thanks for tuning in, Love and Light, and we'll see you online.